And happy May 1st, release day. Let me reload this thing to make sure it's running. There we go. Perfect. All right, happy May 1st. And with that, Star Wars promotions. So, bought the Jango Fett Slave 1 today. And, gonna build it. So, promo, quite exciting there. The clone cadets also picked up while I was headed to the cash register a couple of the Formula One blind bags, so open those probably at the midpoint in the stream, as well as the poly bag, which I don't believe I have, so I'm happy to get one. I don't think I do, but at the same time, there's a possibility. And then there is this, the very exciting, the thing that everyone's most excited for each year. It spins. It's the keychain. Exciting stuff. And let's get on to the actual build. I've got the bags here sorted, so they should be easy to access and get into. But it looks like this build is going to start off with Mr. Jango Fett himself, with the minifigure. All right, the new rangefinder, all this stuff, very exciting, and his wonderful little arm print, his dark gunmetal gray jetpack, which I believe is incorrect, and his nice face print. That's a cool face print. I always like to see the different clone face prints, but I guess this is the first one. You get actually, you don't just get a second one. You get, I don't know if this is a mistake or what, but I got 3. So, got a bunch of the new rangefinders, and the side of the helmet printing is really quite nice on this figure. I guess maybe his headset would have been a cool inclusion to the face print. Nice minifigure. Cool. Very cool one. Gonna be nice. Okay. Gonna be nice on the plaque. There he is. Jango Fett. It's nice little arm printing and his face print and all that. And the rangefinders. Alright. Bag number 1. There's a decent amount of stuff to go through this stream that's not just relating to this set, but there's also a ton of Lego reveals from yesterday night to go over, or this morning, or whenever. And I guess there is some Star Wars, considering that this is Star Wars Day release day. There is some new Star Wars stuff to go over, especially just recently. Not that it got revealed while I was in the line. Or not revealed, I guess leaked. The battle droid with Stap, which looks very cool. I am very much excited for it. I have no clue which part of the build it is, because it's certainly not the stand, because there's way too many different colors. I'm going to assume that this is the structure of our boy Jango's here, fire spray. But maybe... No, this is definitely not the stand, and given the angles, I'm assuming is going to be the some shaping of this thing. But I'm excited to build this one. It looks very nice. I did see a little bit of it built, but at the same time, I didn't really look all that much into it. Yeah. I am quite excited to see this one, build it, and see how the whole thing turns out. It should be a fun time. I think I'm looking at about 3 hours or so for this stream, so 1,000 pieces per hour. There's 23 bags in this thing, so yeah, I'll see. And then at some point I'd also like to build this, and maybe at like the middle point in the stream, I'll open those Formula One things. Now I did pick the like I was walking up to the cash register to just get one of these in their shipping boxes, um, instead of going on the shelf because I think there was only like one of them on the shelf. They were all just in their shipping boxes or um, in the back. So just went straight to the cash, and while I was going there, I just happened to grab a couple of the Formula One um, sets or the minifigure series for May, which isn't a minifigure series, but I guess is somewhat similar to one in its blind boxes. But I did just grab them all from the front, so I'm assuming that there are going to be a couple of duplicates here if any past things. I'm going to assume they're duplicates. Bag one is progressing pretty quick, which is nice to see. Happy I have this thing all sorted and didn't try to open it up on stream because that would have been a bit of a mess, sorting while I went along. So it should be a smooth time. The promo looks pretty cool. Definitely excited to build it. Interested to see what this thing goes for because I wouldn't mind picking up a second one, and I don't know by the end of the promotional period if I decide to do that and pick up another one. I'll see. I actually should look now to see, or not now, in like 3 hours when this stream is over, I'm gonna look and see what I could potentially purchase. Now, I did notice a few things on back order. Not this one. While I was in line for this set, I believe this fellow went on back order, and I don't know if it's sold out now. I'd assume it isn't. But nice to see that it's doing well. It's always nice to see good solid sets doing well. Hello and welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. But big one here, progressing quite well. This is certainly growing in size pretty quick. Should be a good one. There's bag two. Good. Know exactly where it is. All the bags that I have for this one are the plastic ones. I'm really waiting until I get a full set of paper bags. I'm way too excited for the day that comes. I feel like it might have already happened and I'm forgetting it, but I feel like it was. I feel like I might have got it with the Fortnite Battle Bus, but I don't remember it. I would have remembered that, I think, that I got paper bags. I don't think I did. Yeah, I would say, like, I haven't built the thing yet, and I will at some point in probably like 3 or 4 hours when I'm finished building this. But those, like, the minifigures are pretty cool. The little ship is, the Enforcer is pretty cool. I think it seems worth it. I really don't know what the threshold is, but it seems more worth it than any of the promos from the last little while. So yeah, it's very. I think it's a solid promo, without building it yet, but yeah. Yeah, like I'm gonna assume that it's going to be at least $100 on the secondary market. That would be my guess and assumption, like buying it secondhand. I'm assuming that's about what you're going to be paying for it. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if each of those clone cadets are selling for like $40 or $50. So 160, especially if you could get the sets with some double points. Yeah, like I think it's just for the promo. I don't know, but I don't think it's anything ridiculous, and like I don't, like, it was like $75 or $80 for like one figure. At least that's what the promos of old were. So I think 160 for this one seems on par or reasonable for really the rest of it. But yeah, and I guess there's a couple more things. There's the poly bag, which I guess is really not worth much. But yeah, it seems like a really good promo, and I am considering at some point before the promotional period ends picking up a second one, because it seems pretty cool and I wouldn't mind another one. So yeah, it seems like a nice promo that I think a lot of people are going to want. The reception to it certainly seems quite positive, and I think it makes sense why it looks pretty good, just by the images and everything of it. But certainly excited to build it and check it out, and especially those clone cadets, which of all like clone minifigures that I've seen, at least recently, they are like the ones that I'd honestly want to army build the most if I could, which is really not practical considering how much it's going to be. Yeah, I have no clue what he's going to be currently selling for, but I guess currently, considering that it just came out and there's not much probably on the secondary market, he's pretty much the 370 or whatever this set costs. Bag 2 now. But it looks like a nice figure. To be honest, I don't care all that much about Boba or Jango in this set. Like, this set specifically. Not for everything. Like, there's a lot of sets that I really do care about the figures. This is one set where I don't care that much about the minifigures, just for the fact that the build is like, this is probably my favorite Star Wars ship. This particular version of the Slave One, the blue and the green, the white, the yellow. It's just, I absolutely love this ship. So seeing it in this UCS scale is very exciting. So the minifigures really just weren't gonna ever be important to me. It was always gonna be the build, and the build looks really great, and the minifigures seem like just a nice addition. But I'm assuming that this minifigure won't be going for any cheaper than the last Jango minifigure. But I think it's also important to keep in mind for anyone wanting to buy Jango's minifigure to wait until August, when the playset one is revealed, and we know whether or not the minifigure is the same or different. And then I think it's best to make decisions on if you want to pick this one up by itself. So I think that's certainly an important consideration. So yeah, the play scale one, which I'm excited to see. I don't plan on picking up the play scale one. This is sort of, for me, my one and done when it comes to any new Jango Fett's Slave Ones. The 2002 one is extremely special to me, and I think that's probably my favorite one. But build-wise, design-wise, the one that I want to display for the next however long, it's certainly going to be this one. But yeah, interested to see the play scale one in August. This is certainly growing pretty fast. Um, okay, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing the vision of this thing coming to life. I think I'm about to build another side of this. The wings are gonna attach there. Yeah, it's coming together. I'm seeing a Jango Fat Slave one now. When I look at this build, it's starting to shape up. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see the final result with this one. I think it's gonna be one of my favorite sets of the year. Um, I thought, like, so far, I think my favorite set I've built so far this year is probably the Shire. Really enjoyed that. But coming later this year, really interested to see the Belrog and Gandalf book Nook or book N, depending on which way they go with it. If it's like this Harry Potter one, it's more of an end, and then it's more of a Nook if they go with the Sherlock Holmes look. But at the same time, the Krusty Burger from The Simpsons is one that I'm very excited to see. But the one I'm definitely most excited for is the Black Pearl. That's going to be one that I am very, very excited for and very excited to pick up. Yeah, it is. The build is certainly. It's the details on it is. It seems quite impressive. Just from the images I've seen, I saw it very briefly this morning. Um, when I got into line to buy this one, so really haven't seen it too much in person, but just from the images, it looks quite impressive. So I and it's been, well, I guess not overly fun so far. It's all just the technic innards of the set, which I guess aren't the most exciting thing in the world, but it's coming together, and it's looking more and more like the ship that it's supposed to be. But I'm very interested to see what they do with the Playscale one later this year. If it's more like the last Playscale Slave one, or if it's increased in size a little bit, similar to that 20th anniversary playset Slave one, which now that was quite a good set. That was a whole really good wave of sets. Really, that 20th anniversary wave was quite nice. Last year's 25th anniversary wave, I think looking back at it, was just all right. And this year, I don't know. I like a lot of this stuff, but at the same time, there's just everything feels just like it's part of a subline of sets. It's either a MIDI scale set, a helmet set, a UCS set, a buildable character. There's just not, I feel like, as many just fun play sets. So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of that in the future. Anything like Vader's Castle or Yavin would be very nice. But at the same time, I guess there's probably a bunch of playsets coming out at the end of this year. Interested to see how the MTT turns out. That one certainly interests me, as well as the V19 Torrent. Seems interesting for its minifigures. Seem quite intriguing. But yeah, I guess the first set leaked of the summer Star Wars sets, that being the Battle Droid and Stap, which looks pretty good. I like what I'm seeing there. There's certainly too many buildable characters this year and in the last few years, especially this year, but they've been good. That's like the one thing that I am pleased with, is that they are they're solid. Like, they're not just bad sets. They seem like they're pretty solid ones, and that Battle Droid, I think, is no different. I think there's also the Super Battle Droid coming out, unless I'm misremembering that. So I'm interested to see what that one looks like. Um, Alright. Probably should make sure that I'm actually putting these Technic pins in the correct spot to not completely mess this thing up 20 bags down the line and it doesn't fit on the stand. So I should probably actually make sure that I'm putting these in correctly, and so far I think it's alright. But bag 2 here is almost done, 20 minutes in to this stream. I think might need to speed up this process actually a little bit if this thing is going to go for about 3 hours instead of 5. If I probably continue where I'm at, but at the same time I think it's going pretty well. Bag 3 looks like a small one, but it looks like after this one it's going to be sort of near the end of the Technic interior of the build. I don't think there's any functions in it like the turning cockpit or the rotating cockpit. I know that's not in this thing. So I don't think there's a ton of different features and functions to have to build with this. There we go. Alright, the attachment for the wings. And alright. A few more pieces into this bag, and I think that will be that, and the shell, or at least a pretty good amount of it, will be done. And just by the little extra page I just flipped through, the actual blue bits of this one are coming pretty close. I kind of wish they used purple on Jango. I don't know what it is, but even if I think a purple color would have been a nice one. I think that's what I'd like to see in the future. If in the next time they do a Jango Fett figure, I'd like to see purple, or whenever they do another set of anniversary minifigures, I think a purple Jango Fett would be pretty cool. Alright. Alright. Shaping, it's all looking pretty good here. Okay, good. Alright, everything's even. I think I've built this correctly. That's the shell of it, which I am happy with this because I don't think the size of this thing is going to get much bigger than this. Like, the shell of this thing I think is going to remain relatively the same. And if that's the case, I'm quite pleased with this thing because I didn't want it to be too big, because I would like to put it on a shelf, and I think it might fit because I don't think it's going to be totally humongous like certain sets from the last few years. The Republic gunship was one that I was very much excited for, the UCS one, and it is just so big. It's a bit too big, to be quite honest with you. It really is more of, if anything, a thing that fits on a table, not a shelf. And I think at this moment in my collecting, I prefer things that can fit on tables and not on no, never mind, reverse that. Prefer things that fit on shelves, not tables, like that Republic gunship. And I think this one will be a nice fitting one. See how tall it gets when it's placed on its stand, but it's starting to come together now, actually getting a bit into the interior bits of it. And I'm quite excited to see how the shaping of it is built. The perimeter of it, which looks, just from the images of it, looks quite nice. So should be a good one. All right, and that will do it for bag number 2. On to 3. There's a lot of dark bluish and light bluish gray with this set. They really love their grays in LEGO Star Wars. There's a ton of it. That was one thing that I really liked about that Ahsoka wave from a year or two ago, was the how colorful all the ships were. But this one, I guess, in the end, is relatively colorful. All right. I think it's on to some interior bits of this, and I think this is just sort of a separated section from the rest of it. It's going to be clicked into the larger set. Now, I don't think this one is much larger size-wise than its Boba counterpart from a few years back, but the piece count is quite a bit more, and I think that's due to what I'm seeing right now, which is a ton of small elements, which is not surprising. They certainly have quite a few of them in a lot of these large sets to create as many details as they can. This is the light bluish gray bag, it seems, ton of it in this one, which is not much of a surprise. LEGO Star Wars certainly seems to have quite a bit of these colors. Alright, where is it? There we go. Okay, getting into some of the more fun, now that fits nice. The more fun building techniques of this one. I think this is gonna, I think just by the shaping of it, I think this is going to end up being a pretty fun set to put together. Like the last thing I finished would have been the bag end, so this is certainly quite a different build. And then before that, I was working on all the Speed Champions Formula 1 sets, so I guess that's a bit more similar to this, but I feel like my last 3 builds have been all quite different from each other, so that's been fun. Okay, now this part of the build is actually really, this is the first part. Like the first couple bags were not the most exciting thing, as it was really just the technic skeleton and structure of this thing so that it doesn't collapse on itself when put on the stand. But now it's getting into some of the more fun techniques and angles and things. And this is really only bag 3, so there's quite a bit more to go when it comes to fun techniques, which I think there's going to be quite a few of just by the look of the thing. But so far, so good with it. It's coming together, and it's been a good one. Don't know what bag I'm gonna stop and open these Formula 1 blind bags, see what teams I get. I'm about certain now. I think there's 3, so I have 4. So I'm pretty sure I'm guaranteed to have at least 2 different teams, because I think the most you can get of one minifigure, or in this case car, in a blind box like these is 3 in the same box. So by that, I believe I'm guaranteed to get at least 2 different teams, and ideally not 3. I'm hoping that if I do get duplicates, it's actual teams and not those random 2 that they threw in the thing, which are a bit odd of inclusions. But yeah, excited for them. I really didn't look around at all at the LEGO store today to see the new stuff released. Just went straight to the cash, got my my slave one, and walked out. And now here, building it. Getting more into, I guess, a bit of the snot techniques for this build. I think this is some sort of interior area. I don't know if this is the cockpit or what it is, but it's some sort of interior bit of it. I don't think there's much in the way of interior. It's more just the cockpit and that seating area, and then there's a bit of space for the seismic charge and a few other things. So I have no clue how many pieces I've gone through so far of this thing. Just know I'm 3 bags in, but 3,000 pieces on this thing seems like a lot. But at the same time, I look down at all the bags, and there's certainly quite a few of them. So yeah. All right, bag 3 is coming along pretty fast now. I really like how some of these parts are really flush with certain parts of it. I think from what I've seen so far, it's sort of crazy how much better, at least the build seems to be for this one compared to the Bobas from a few years back. Like, that one was, and I think still is, just one of the best UCS sets that I've seen, and to have a build that really just is quite a bit better is quite insane, really. And at least this one shouldn't have any colored pieces that snap once you place them or take them apart. That one is just a walking brittle red machine. It's a cool looking set, though. Certainly is. And one of the best LEGO box arts I've ever seen. That's one thing. The box arts on some of these sets, and most of these sets, really is just not it. It's really quite disappointing how poor some of it is. Now this section of it so far has been really fun to build. Definitely my favorite part of the build so far, and it's been a good one. I guess I'm seeing. Actually, I don't know where this is going to clip into it. At least as it stands right now, it's gonna. There's some Technic pinholes right at the back, so it's going to fit in there some way. Just don't know exactly how at this moment in time. But this has certainly been okay. Never mind. Me thinking this was the cockpit area, or at least close to it, was completely wrong. It's actually closer to the loading ramp than anything, and it actually, I believe, is the loading ramp. So yeah, never mind to my speculation that this could be the cockpit area of the ship. It is not. So that puts that to bed. It's the landing, or the onboard area, the loading ramp floor. Alright, there goes the grill piece, some ball joints in here. Now I'm assuming these ball joints are going to be how they get some of these shapes in certain angles with the build. Quite like ball joints. They're always fun. I haven't got to really mess with ball joints when it comes to mocks and such, but they're always a fun thing to have in sets. Alright, now I think that this is, with this part attached, is about the height of the ship itself. I don't think there's going to be much more except maybe a little bit on top that can be added to this thing, which feels like a really nice size. Happy with it. But yeah, that's the skeleton. Now, 4 more pieces left with this section of the build. And that is that. 3 bags done, 35 minutes in. That feels, actually I realized that's probably a little bit on the slow end. So we'll see. Looks like some color is going to be added to this build by the time this bag is finished. Alright, I'm going to need to get this thing in here, because it looks like it's actually just building on top of it now, not just separate bits and adding to it. It's actually directly building onto it. Now, it's a pretty nice structural frame so far. Like, that's pretty strong, which you wouldn't really be surprised by considering it's Technic, and that tends to be as annoying as sometimes it can be to put together. It's certainly adds a lot of stability to the models, so always thankful that it's as strong as it is to hold up these really nice sets. Alright. Ooh, it's getting maybe into a little bit of the wings now, which will be fun. It's always a fun time placing the ship's wings. I believe these, I'm assuming, actually I wouldn't, they certainly do turn. I would be quite surprised if they didn't. But I'm assuming that the wings don't turn when you actually like move the ship. I don't think that's a function in this one. I don't think there's really actually any sort of functions in this build. This is certainly getting into the wings, I would assume. But considering that I was completely wrong about the building of the last section, who knows? And I don't trust myself when it comes to predicting what exactly I'm building here. So, yeah. But it's been a fun time so far. I've enjoyed it. The last bag was really fun. This one is sort of just plates on plates. Yeah, it's, I think Boba is coming in the, I think it was bag 21, I think is where I saw his torso, so, that's the second figure of the set. Very interested to see if these two are the same as the ones in the, playset one. But I think the thing I'm most excited for is that new Kaminoan. I think one of the sets I'm most excited for the summer, though, is that Rebuild the Galaxy Snowspeeder, as well as the Gingerbread AT-AT, which I guess are all just 2 really random sets, but ones that for some reason I just very much interested me. The 3 Rebuild the Galaxy sets from last year really didn't interest me all that much. I didn't think Jedi Bob's Starfighter was all that special, and the Falcon I really could care less about, and same for the other one. But this fiery hot rod snow speeder sounds very interesting to me. Um, I like colorful snow speeders. The tan one from a few years back was sort of cool, um, and I'm excited for this year's weird one. All right, first blue pieces of the set. Exciting, exciting stuff. It's time to move on from all the grays to some actual color on this build, which is quite exciting. So that's what I find the most appealing about this ship is the colorway of it. There's a lot of ships in Star Wars that I feel like are pretty boring with their colors, but this one is, I don't know what it is. It's the dark green, that dark blue just really pops, looks really nice, and it's one thing that just makes this one of my favorite, if not my favorite ship in Star Wars. So very much excited to see the finished product here. Bag 4 seems to be coming along, and this is actually, once I finish this one, is the first stack of bags that I've finished. They're not stacked in number correctly, like it's not like stacks 5 or 6, they're all sort of all over the place, but this one was a stack of 4, and it's finished, so getting the stacks of bags done. All right. It was a fun time today in the line waiting for this one. The 2 hours or so flew by pretty fast. By the end, it seemed like the line had grown quite a bit, but getting there early enough was nice to easily pick this one up with really no concern about missing it. So it was a successful release day, and happy to picked it up and build it here because I think it's going to be a fun one, and I'm enjoying it so far. It seems like now it's getting into even more of the structure, but yeah. Now this bag's come along pretty fast. Certainly a decent amount of larger pieces in this bag compared to the last one. I'm guessing when it gets to doing the actual perimeter of the ship, the blue and the greens, it's where all the smaller pieces will lie in this. It's really, except for Technic pins, there's not a ton of smaller detailed parts, except for I guess a few that have come along the way. Let's now on to some pins to hold everything in place. Wonderful. But there's certainly a lot of sets to go over from yesterday in this stream, and I think one of my favorite themes from yesterday's reveals definitely has to be Creator. Creator 3-in-1, there was just so much solid stuff. My favorite probably being the Unicorn Castle, which looks amazing, and I want to get that day 1. Very pleased with the Unicorn Castle. The Haunted House looks very good as well. That one seems a bit expensive for what it is. And then the Horse Knight Castle looks like a cool one as well. Definitely one that I'm quite excited to pick up. And that one seems like a reasonable price for what it is, and the build looks pretty nice. as well. And then there's a bunch of other one. The horse, when I saw it, reminds me of that April Fool's thing from Lego and all the land members from a year or two ago when there was that horse. It reminds me of that build, which wasn't the best build in the world. So in other words, the horse build didn't really impress me compared to some of the other animal builds that have come out in the last little while from Creator 3-in-1. But they certainly like those animal builds. But yeah, it seems like a pretty solid summer wave of sets for Creator, and certainly some that I'd like to pick up. The haunted house is really cool to me. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, so I think I'm gonna wait it out a little bit before I pick that one up. But I was never that into monster fighters as a theme, but it certainly reminds me of that. Now, where exactly did I not put these things? Oh, I see. Never mind. It's a simple fix. I didn't mess up the entire build, so that's good to know. 1 second. I see where these should be going. Okay. There we go. Love having some extra random tiles to concern me, to realize I've almost messed the thing up. Alright. Move this thing to the side, and it's on to bag 5, which seems like a separate section of the build, but I'm seeing more blue. The more and more blue that I see, the happier I am, because it gets to cover up this dark bluish gray and light bluish gray, and I certainly have enough of that on my Star Wars shelf, so getting some nice colors like these will be exciting. Alright. Well, at least as it stands right now, I'm certainly not on pace to be finishing this one in 3 hours like I was thinking. But who knows? Maybe certain bags will be quicker than others, like the last one, which was a pretty short one, and then the first few are sort of a bit longer. But I am not going to make any more predictions as to what this part of the build could be, because the last time I was completely wrong, and it was the entirely other end of the ship. So I have no clue, one bit, what this part of the build is going to be and where it's going. Now, where exactly is this little slope element? I might be blind or not, and I have no clue, so I'll continue, and hopefully I see it in the next little while, but I think I am blind and cannot see a simple part in front of me. Who knows? Alright. Alrighty. And that is going to go there. No, I don't think I will. Okay. That will go there. Now, just by the looks of it, I'm going to have to find this part, considering that it's going to be covered up soon. I need to find this little sloped element before I click this thing in to the build. Bag 5. Certainly don't see it in bag 5. Oh, it's right here. Never mind. I found it. We're good. We're all good. Wonderful. Love how the one part of it was on the completely other side, in a different bag. That's wonderful. Very helpful. All right. Get into this thing. All right, so this is attaching closer to the rear of the ship. Great. And that's gonna click in there. And then we've got this, and it's back to this. All right. Completely placing it on the wrong side of the build is certainly going to get me into trouble later on. So, yeah, this is a little bit better. I guess this will allow for some fun building later on, and some more upside down bits of it with some more Technic pins and holes. And another one on the other side. We'll finish it off. Oh yay, the first little bits of exterior work. Exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. This is the bits of the build I've been waiting for, the blues and greens of the build. All right. The search for a part begins again. There we go. Found it. Now that will definitely prolong the stream if I can't find parts for a minute or two. That one wasn't too bad. Ooh, what is? I don't think I've seen one of these before. It's got to be a somewhat newer element. I certainly don't remember seeing one of them before. It's a similar shaped piece to one I've seen, but not a little bit larger than most of them. There we go. And that will do it. Well, that finishes up that section pretty fast when we've got 3 pretty large pieces to attach. Certainly simplifies the process of building it fast. All right. Ooh, the fun shaped building and styles begins, I think. Alright, it's definitely the most blue of the build so far. That's been fun to work on and do and see. And a little bit of green now, which is going to be quite exciting. Really love the color of this ship. It's quite nice. I quite like this one a lot more than Boba's one. Always really have. But they're a fun little odd shaped ship. It's a cool one. The slave one. And that's going to attach on there, and I guess this is where some of the fun shapes, the odder angles begin on the build. And okay, so it's starting with the rear, and now first sticker of the set. All right, that feels like a pretty solid placement of that. I'm actually quite pleased with that. If I don't say, okay, we're not. Okay, more of the rear of this thing, and how's this gonna attach on there? It's gonna clip on there. Let's break it. That's a good idea. I need to, before I clip that on, I should check to see where this part went that I broke off. Okay. There we go. And there we go. Now that's quite cool. I like how that's coming together. Okay. A little bit more blue. Now I would guess that the next bag is going to be what I've done here, just on the other side of the build. That would be my guess for what's coming next in this build. But it's certainly starting to take shape and looking better and better as it goes along. All right. Ooh, now that lines up quite nice, that little cheese slug. That, love when those pieces just line up perfectly. They really have gotten better and better at doing it in the last few years, and it's really created some nice shapes with certain builds. part, or colored part, and that's going to attach on there. And now that's just going to clip in there. Now this is really starting to take shape and look really quite nice. Some of these parts are just lining up real nice, really quite nice. It's coming together quite nicely at the moment, and I am very much liking what I'm seeing here as this build's progressing. It's just how few gaps it seems to have. And one second. Okay. And that goes in there. Perfect. And some lights, or what I assume to be the idea of lights on the back of this little thing here. All right, now that was a fun section of the build, and that looks exactly what it's going to be, is just doing the other side of that now in bag 6. Okay, spilling water all over myself. That's a good idea. Okay. Next bag, an hour into this one, 5 bags done, which I guess that would get us to 15 if it was a 3-hour stream at this pace. All right. Now the other theme that I think was quite exciting to talk about is Lego Marvel, which I thought had some really solid sets. Definitely one of the better waves and summer waves and just waves altogether that I've seen of Marvel superheroes the last few years. Really like the Spider-Man building sets, the play sets. I think those are really cool. The trains are really cool set. Just a whole lot of it really is some exciting stuff, some very solid stuff, and yeah, it's solid wave. The small Iron Man 2 set's cool. Even the Endgame set I think is actually a pretty solid one. I think it's one of the better ones, and especially actually getting a different War Machine. Like, I really didn't think they were going to do a different Iron Patriot. I was convinced that they were going to just reuse the one that they had in the Hall of Armor. So to have both of those out in the same year is quite exciting. So excited to put those into my Hall of Armor, even though a new War Machine for me is definitely not as exciting as a new Iron Man suit. It's still very cool to get, and of course there's the Mark IV coming out, so that will be an exciting one to add to the collection of Iron Man figures. But yeah, there's other stuff and others. There's the 4+ set, which I'm sure everyone is very eagerly anticipating, but it's not a bad one actually. It's just a pretty ridiculous price, like all of them tend to be. for what you get. But the like Thanos vehicle is kind of cool. I kind of like it. But yeah, it's a solid wave of sets for superheroes. The single Batman set, the Batman Forever Batmobile, is cool. Seems like a lot for a Batmobile, especially one that I believe is minifigure scale, but maybe it's not, and it is a slightly upscaled one. I really can't tell. Like, it's big against the minifigure, but I also don't really, like, I'm pretty sure the Batmobile in universe is a pretty large thing, or that version of it. But I think it would have been cool to get some of the other characters from that movie, because I doubt we really see any more in the future. But the Batsuit looks cool, as well as the new dual-molded helmet and how you can change the eye color. I think is a cool thing that can probably lend itself well to some minifigures in the future. But excited to see Arkham later this year for DC, but it's just the set for the summer, but it's a decent one. It looks to me to be a pretty nice one all around. But yeah, I really like this skyline or street and building line that they've made with these superhero sets. I think the Spider-Man sets with all their different buildings is pretty cool, and I hope they continue to do it, because I think it's pretty fun concept. Alright, sticker applied, and now it's back into the actual build itself, which is going to clip on just like the other one did. Alright, perfect. And now the next section of this build continuing these side panels. I'm liking the size of this thing so far. It's not too big. It feels a reasonable size, which I'm quite pleased with. I think I'm tired of the huge sets. There's just not really, I don't find them all that appealing. It's these more $300 large D2Cs that I find much more appealing than I do the $5, $8, $1,000 ones. So yeah, but at the same time, I am interested to see what the or how the Death Star looks. Definitely not one that I'm planning on purchasing, especially anytime soon, but be interesting to see that one when it gets revealed, and to hear more, I guess, concrete information on what exactly it is. I'm surprised they haven't teased it in any way so far in this May release cycle. A little bit surprised they haven't really done any teasing of the set. But I'm certainly interested to see what minifigures they do include. I guess the guys I want to see the most are like Palpatine's guards that he comes off his shuttle with. Or not the guards, not the royal guards in their red outfits, but the, like, I have no clue what their purpose is with the hooded guys. That look, I like them. And I want them. All 4 or 5 of them in the set. That's I might have to bricklink those guys if they come out, because I definitely would like them quite a bit. Alright, this is the same build as the other side, which would make sense. Since the thing is supposed to be symmetrical, it would make sense that it is, which it is so far, which is great to see. All right. Now this will attach in to the thing if I decide to actually build it correctly. 1 second. What did I do wrong here? Alright, okay. I should just take this apart. That will solve any issues that have arisen in the last couple moments of building this thing. There we go. Should be good to go now. And it should clip on nicely in there and fit very nice in there. The lack of gaps between some of these plates is quite something. It really is quite impressive how well built this set is. Like it really is quite fantastic just how well built it is and how few gaps there are so far. It's really impressive, and quite the fun thing to put together. All right, some Technic pins. Will be that, and that will be bag 6 of 23, I believe. Once I find a nice place for it. Okay, concern. There's concern here on where exactly this was supposed to go. I don't see a place where this should be here. Let me go back through this thing and look to see where a 2x2 plate was used right here. Okay, there we go. I think I found it. There we go. Actually, didn't even place it on the last one either. I can't believe I didn't pick that up in the last one, that was a part that I missed. A plate. Alright. Bag 7. Building more of the outer shell of this thing. Probably 2 more bags, and then I'll get into the Formula 1 blind boxes to see what I got and who I got. Hoping for papaya. That's what I'm hoping for. My mom would like a Red Bull, so hoping for that one. Alright. Alright, bag 7 of 23. Getting through it. I do think, though, I will call this stream about at 3 hours, so it will get mostly through the build, I think, but I don't think it will be completely finished, which is a little disappointing. I definitely kind of wanted to finish it on stream, but I don't think I will be able to today. But I would like to finish it today, so I think I'm just going to continue later on. Not to mention the fact that I'm assuming, considering that I don't have anything plugged in, what's filming me right now is definitely going to run out of power sooner rather than later. But hopefully not in the next little while. All right. I still have no idea, as this is a new section of the build, what this could be. The funnest game of this entire stream is playing what exactly this part of the ship could be. And this part, I have no idea, because I don't see any seats, so I'm assuming it's not the cockpit. But it could be, who knows. I'm just going to take it from there, because I can't find the part, so there's an extra one in the extra pieces, so I'll just go with that one. Alright, I'm assuming this thing is just continuing to build up and up and up, so I would assume that this is just the next part of that, which is now actually getting more to the middle of the ship than anything. It's really not the bottom of the ship anymore. That's pretty much done now. It's pretty much on to the middle now, and I guess as it... Actually, never mind. Nope, not the middle of the ship. I should just stop guessing, because every time I guess where this part of the build could connect, I'm completely wrong. This is the top of the ship. Well, don't seem to learn that maybe I should just stop guessing on what part of the build this could be, because I've been completely wrong the last little while. At least, hopefully, I know the cockpit when I see it, because it should have chairs. So, once I see the chairs, I'll know that it is. So maybe this is the top of the build. Who knows? Because here's another section that I really have no clue where it could be on this ship. I need to still finish and watch some Jango. I should do that later today, but also, considering that it's Wes Anderson's birthday today, I feel like I need to watch a Wes Anderson film, so that's what I'm going to do later today, and I think what I am going to watch is Bottle Rocket. I think I'm going to open up my Criterion version of it and open and watch that. So that's the plan after finishing this, is watching that. And then I need to finish a minifigure series, because it's on a bit of a time crunch, because I kind of want to release it tomorrow, yet I'm less than halfway through the thing. At least if it comes out next week, it's not too bad. Anything past that, it's a bit too long. But yeah, I need to get it out tomorrow, I think. So tonight, what I'll be working on is a minifigure series to put out. That's the plan after watching Wes. All right. And that plate is going to go right there. And that one there. All right. It's coming together. It's looking better and better as it goes along. But it's been a fun build so far. I've enjoyed it. It's been a fun time. I find Star Wars builds tend to be less fun than others. These ones I think are a little bit better, these UCS sets, but I find most of them, the builds are definitely not the highlight of it. It's more the the final product is good. It's more the building experience. I don't find really ever there's techniques that I find overly exciting. There's the one-off time that it happens, but I feel like other themes that occurs a little bit more. But this set's been a fun build so far, which has been a nice surprise, but not really surprised that much because it looks as really good. So in order to accomplish that, I would assume it would have to be pretty well designed, and it seems to be that. But it's been a good one. Enjoyed it. All right, so the next bag is going to be the end of another stack of bags. It's getting through it. Slow, but getting through it. Almost the halfway point of this stream, but I think I'll do the next one and then open up the Formula One blind bags to see what teams I might have got. All right. Ooh, this little droid arm part is cool to get an angle. Now, one thing with droids, gotta talk about droids before this stream ends. The advent calendar for this year being completely droid based. I don't mind it. Actually, I think I kinda like it. It's I really haven't seen much in the way of reception for it. But it's I like the advent calendar. I think it's a fun concept, and yeah, I like it. I think I'm quite pleased with it. I think the Minecraft one was the one that I found most interesting. I thought Harry Potter was all right, but I thought the Star Wars one was pretty cool. Excited to pick it up. I guess just like a basic couple battle droids isn't the most exciting thing, but they always seem to show up in the advent calendars. But getting the Evil Eye C-3PO is sort of exciting because I wasn't really ever planning on picking the Dark Falcon up, so that gets one figure down of the set. But I'm gonna start picking those up soon because I want them. There's some cool ones in that set. That set definitely was pretty good in the minifigure department. Overall, I think the Rebuild the Galaxy set seemed to be pretty strong in that department, and the reception to those figures seemed to be pretty positive. Okay, I've done that correct. Looked a bit weird on the image, just the angle that it was shown. right, that will do that. And now it's on to the other side, potentially. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not guessing anymore on what these sections of the build could be, because every time I do, I seem to get it wrong. So, who knows? It's something. That's what I know for sure, is that it's a part of Jango Fett's Slave 1. That's for sure. Who knows what part, but it's a part. Know that. Excited for the Miami GP this weekend. Should be a fun one. Predictions time? Maybe. Why not? It's halfway through the stream, about to open them up. It might as well. Predictions. Hopefully Osk has a better race than he did in Miami last year, but if Lance Stroll has anything to do with it, he probably won't. But he hasn't really gotten into that much trouble so far this year, and he's really the only one who scored Aston Martin's points, so he hasn't been that bad. I wouldn't be shocked if Max puts in a really good performance, because he seems to always be able to pull something out, so wouldn't be shocked there if he can pull something out. Hopefully, I wouldn't be shocked. I think Lando, I want Lando to do well, but I think might have a bit of an issue. This race, I think he's going to put a bit too much pressure on himself, wanting to go back to back on a racetrack and a win, and not only that, but trying to now beat Oscar. I think might have some tough times ahead for Lando, but I hope he does well, very well, very, very well. Hope he wins, actually. I think he's my hopeful wins. I think I'm going to go Osk as my prediction to win, and Max as I wouldn't be shocked if he pulls it out. Podium, I'm thinking Oscar, Max, and George is what I'm thinking as a prediction for a podium, because I have a bad feeling that Lando might make an error during the race. Or something cool could happen, and like Lando got a well-timed safety car in last year's Miami race for his first win, someone like, I don't know, Kimi gets a well-timed safety car and he gets his first win. That would be exciting. That's one thing I'm hoping to see this year. I'd like to see Kimi get a win, or any of the rookies. A rookie victory, that's my hope for the year. Other than Papaya World Champion and Papaya Constructors. The other wish is... Now, hopefully Isaac and Liam can do well, because they've got a nice-looking car. Now, one car that's not nice-looking is that Ferrari, which I don't know who and how they got through so many stages of designing the thing, and were like, yep, that looks good. Because it just does not. It looks like they stuck two cars, Frankenstein style, together and created this jumbled HP and Ferrari mess of a car. Like it was HP branded car with a Ferrari car. They stuck them together and they created this thing. It's not the best thing I've seen. Honestly, Ferrari's special liveries, the last few have really not been that special or nice. I really had no idea, and I completely forgot that this was a sprint weekend until I saw the schedule today. So excited for big potential points weekend for my Papaya boys, and hoping they perform well. Now I'm thinking I should use my double my no cost cap for my Formula One fantasy this race weekend. It might be a good idea with a sprint. I don't know who I'd go with as a second team. Like I'm thinking Mercedes. Like Ferrari just doesn't really have it right now. But maybe Lewis, for some reason, the only thing he can do well this year is sprints, and maybe gets pole in tomorrow for sprint qualifying or something. Who knows? All right, bag 7 is coming to an end here. In this top section, which really just leaves the wings. How is there so many bags left in this thing? Like it looks almost. It is completely missing the whole front of the ship, but there's so many bags left, and there doesn't seem like there's that much left. So it must be a ton of small pieces. Now I know the last bag would be the stand, so that one doesn't count towards the actual ship build, but it just doesn't seem like there's that much left, at least for the amount of bags that are left. Be interesting to see. Maybe the stand might be 2 bags, because Boba is 21, so there's 22 and 23. I don't know. More predictions on the build, which will inevitably be wrong with how the others have gone. All right. Attach this little bit in there. Go. And now some Technic pins to attach these. I'm assuming these are lights, but they're also, I guess they act as little buffers so that the base of the ship doesn't just attach, right, or touch the ground. It's these that hold up the ship when it's in a landing pose. Now, I don't remember putting those in, so... Okay, that's concerning. Where were these in the build? Oh, I see them. Never mind, I see them. I see them. Now, these are going to be fun to try to get in afterwards. I think I found my way in. There we go. That answers my issues and concerns. All right. Bag 8. All right. This stream is pretty much at its midway point at bag 8. Which isn't the midway point of the bags, so that's not great. But this seems, just by the look of it, a bit of a shorter bag. A lot of trans yellow in this, which I assume and believe is part of the rear thrusters of the build. All right, let's get into it. I think there was a lot of people today picking up the this set, which doesn't surprise me. It seems like and so far it is a quite nice one, and I think it's at least on back order. I know it's on back order. I don't know if it's sold out, but it did go on back order while I was waiting in the line for it. So I think it's sold well online too. So happy to see that, because I want this one to do well, because it seems like a really good set. So I always like when good sets do well. Always cheer for them. Just like Sinners, a film from a couple weeks ago. Very happy to see that doing well at the box office, because I thought that was really quite a good movie. Definitely my favorite of the year so far. Don't know how long that's going to last, though, with the Phoenician scheme coming out in a very short while. All right. How does this little bit attach? Yeah, that's definitely not it. How does this attach? Hello? One second. I got it. I got it. Oh, lovely. Oh, that could have been a very fun thing to try to get off. Now, it does attach in there. It's just you need to actually do the step correctly in order to get it in there. I am happy that there was just enough space for me to get my fingers in there to actually get this thing attached. Now, how does this thing attach? Okay, yeah, I'm a fool. There we go. That answers the issue. Just put the part in correctly. That makes the whole process a whole lot simpler. Hello, how's it going? Bag, what is it, 8 in this this build. All right, that took way too long to place those simple little things in there. A little bit more of the rear of this one. I guess that's one thing, is I haven't actually seen the front of this thing in like 4 or 5 bags, so that's why it seems like it's almost complete, when in reality it's not really even close to being complete. But it certainly feels like it's getting closer and closer as I continue along building it, which you would expect to be the outcome. Certainly makes sense to work like that. There we go. Keep knocking over this Jango minifigure. I'm just going to put him up here. That will keep him there without falling over. All right. Well, I can see where this part of the build's going to attach to it, so I don't have to wrongly guess where it might or might not go. But it's coming together. It's looking better and better. I'm liking what I'm seeing from this this build. It's been fun so far, and all right. go. All right, the rear thruster area of this is set at the 100-minute mark of this Slave 1 stream. It's been fun to put together and very excited to see the final results of it because it's been a good one. Oh, there we go. All right, and is that actually just like, okay, I'm gonna put like a, now that's actually that fits in there really nice. I guess I'm just gonna put a pin in that, which will hold it in there. But at the moment, those what I just built is not structurally in there and would just fall out if I lifted up the ship. I guess the more I look at it, it does make sense that there's still a decent amount of bags to go. It's big. It certainly is. I'm happy with the size of it because it doesn't feel too big. Like it feels like it's going to be, like it's actually going to be able to fit somewhere, which is nice. Like a couple years ago, when I was building the Republic gunship, the UCS gunship, it was just so big that it just couldn't fit anywhere. This one feels like it's actually going to be able to fit somewhere, but it is certainly big. But I hope you enjoy your first UCS set, and I would say a pretty good one for a first one, because so far I'm pretty pleased with it. It's been a fun and enjoyable build so far, but yeah, it's yeah. I guess like for me, when I buy these UCS sets, I don't really care about the minifigures. Like the Jango vet ear, I don't really care that much about. It's just a bit of, I realize now about what I'm about to say is literally just quoting the designers from the gunship, in that they're just an extra. But in a lot of ways, for me, that's how I look at a lot of the figures in UCS sets, and it's specifically for the build. And that's how I kind of feel with this one, is that the build is definitely the main thing for me. But I get that. Like, I guess for play sets, figures is definitely what I look for. But for these display sets, like unless it's like, I think of like the Lord of the Rings sets from the last 2 years, I want figures in those because they're scenes that figures can interact with. And I guess for me, for most UCS sets, they're just at such a larger scale that figures just can't interact with them, that I don't really care about the figures. But I guess in this one's case, it is perfectly, or almost minifigure scale, or is as perfect a Lego set can be. So in this case, I do think the minifigures are important, as they're important to the display of the thing. But in most cases, like last year's TIE Interceptor, I thought the TIE Pilot was really a nice figure with its arm printing, but it was just sort of a nice addition. Whereas this one feels, I guess, a bit more critical. But yeah, Django's good. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's for sure. I recently picked up the 2002 Obi-Wan's Starfighter, so I guess that one would be a bit more of a better display with the original Jango Fett's Slave one. But yeah, um, I certainly excited to put those two together because they seem like they'll go together quite nicely. All right, the rear of this one's certainly coming together quite easily, and now I think this is the space to fit the seismic charge, which is a cool little addition to that. I think that would have been a cool piece to have printed as the seismic charge, because really, just looking at it here, you would have only needed two different prints, because there's 5 stickers in total for that seismic charge, but you would have only needed 2 different prints. One of the prints would have just appeared 4 times. That would have been sort of a nice inclusion in this pretty expensive set. Yeah, I guess, like, I don't care too much if they do it. I guess the exclusivity of it all is nice. I have no clue if they will or not include it for the play scale one, but it'll be interesting to see. I think I'm more interested to see what exactly the size of that play scale one is, if it's closer to the 20th anniversary Slave one or closer to the last playset one. So be interesting to see what that one looks like. I'm certainly not planning on picking that one up, though. This is for me the only, I think, Jango Fett Slave one that I really need to have for built and displayed. Like the idea of having a sealed original Jango Slave one, especially in like the cool packaging with the display or the display box case thing. That 2-in-1 pack is pretty cool. So, yeah. Now this one's coming together quite quickly. This section of it. Yeah. Like this is like I guess why I like this build as much as I do, and like I've got Jango Fett multiple times, that like a new Jango Fett minifigure, even if he's got arm printing, is just not like that special to me. And same for Boba, but like the build is really special to me, as like the ship is just probably my favorite Star Wars ship, I think. Like I absolutely love the color of it. The blue and the green just looks so nice. No, I really wish the figure though had purple parts. I think that would have been really cool. I think that's the one thing that I probably would change if I could change anything in this set. Except for maybe changing Boba, which I guess doesn't look the best. Jango's arms and legs, if those could have been purple, I think it would have been a perfect minifigure. There's just something about the purple Jangos that I think look really good, or the one singular purple Jango from the original set. Now this is pretty cool. The little rear thruster area, the shaping of this is quite nice. Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, breaking everything while I'm at it. It's a good idea. All right. Cool. Yeah. One of my favorite Jango minifigures that they've done is the Christmas one from a few years back. That's one of my favorite Jangos that I have. I think that's a pretty cool one. I definitely want to get that 2002 one though at some point, but it would more for me have to be a minifigure that I buy separately, because I definitely wouldn't want to crack open a sealed 2002 Jango Slave one. It's just whole set is just too cool. A bunch of those 2002 sets are pretty cool. I've been slowly picking up a few in the last few years. I think the one I'd like to get next is the Zam Wessel Chase. I think is probably the next one that I wouldn't mind picking up. All right, getting to flip over the ship. This is like the first time in like 5 or 6 bags. It's been a while. Yeah. Yeah, I really don't like, I don't think the hairpiece that they've used for, I guess, what, 20 years now, I don't think that hairpiece really was the best one. I think like a couple of the hairpieces that they introduced in the BTS set, I thought were some of the better hairpieces for Boba. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's that hairpiece. I guess also the torso, I think, is the wrong color from what I know of Boba. Now I have two. This is not good. Well, I've got two 1x4s that definitely should not be extra pieces. So let me go and find where exactly these should be going and where I messed up on the build. That's not it. Well, 2 went there, but it's not there. All right. 1 went there, but I've got that one in there. Okay, I think I found it. Nope. Okay. It looks correct, and everything I've built's correct. I think there's just 2, it shouldn't be, but I've got 2 1x4s. That one's in there. The next one went here. That's in there. And those 2. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Found it. There we go. There we go. Never mind. That answers it. There we go. That solves the mystery of where exactly these pieces were supposed to go. Okay. That's that. Alright, that's it for this bag. And now it's on to bag number 9, but before I do that, I've got 4, considering that it's at the halfway point of this stream and about the build, I think it's time to open up these 4 Formula 1 mystery boxes from today that released today. Very exciting. With 4 cars on the front of them, there's 12 to collect. And here they are. Alright, I'm assuming, because I just picked these up right at the front of the box, that these are going to be the same. Or at least a few of them. Alright. The first one is... looks like an Williams, potentially. It is. It's a Williams. How exciting. Okay, so they just have one instruction manual, and you sort of gotta piece it together from there. Now the one piece they have for the chassis, that's cool. A new piece for that. That's exciting. All right. This little slope is gonna fit in there. I actually like these are kind of cute. I like them. They're fun little things. They're definitely not, I kind of wish this didn't fill in a minifigure series slot. It would have been nice that these were just their own thing. But these are kind of cute. Minifigure, or not even minifigure, blind boxes. The little front wing piece is cool. And you get printed rims. A little new halo piece. And a print for the rear wing, in this case with the Williams logo on it. And that will go there, and that magically there. Now these are actually pretty well built. They have a little bit of a fun technique. The new little halo pieces is cool. Guess I should put the head in, and you get a new helmet. Well, I don't think these are too bad. They, I like them. They're tiny. But the first of the four is Williams. Now, I'm going to predict that 3 out of 4 of these, because I believe in these boxes, the most of one character or car is 3. And I picked these right at the front of the box as I was walking towards the cash register, picking up this slave one. I have a feeling that it might end up being 3 of the same thing, or at least 2 of them, because I'm sure the ones right behind each other are probably the same. But it's a cute little thing. I kind of want all of these. Here's the Williams with the little front print there with the W, the Williams logo at the top there. It's a cool little thing. All right, number 2. And it is Alpine by the looks of it, because it's got all this pink going on. So it's not a duplicate here, so that's a success. I'm hoping for McLaren, which I guess can easily be seen by the hat, but we'll see. I have a feeling that the next 2 are going to be another Williams and another Alpine. I wouldn't be shocked. But we'll see. All right. There's a decent amount of prints included in these. I think these aren't too bad. I think these have got a pretty bad rap so far, and I don't think they are the worst thing that I've seen from Lego. They're certainly not as exciting as minifigures. Like, if this had been a full series of like driver minifigures where 10, like, you get 10 race suits for the 10 teams, and then you get and 2 heads for each, like they did with the Dungeons and Dragons series, like that would have been pretty cool. But I don't know. There might have been some issues there and not being able to produce minifigures of actual, or at least current drivers, because they've now made Mansell and Senna as figures, so who knows. But the Alpine here is just about complete. Now, I should look here because I don't know which one's supposed to be So you don't really get the instructions for each one specifically. You just get the instructions for one base one. So with this one, the covers are different colors. So the pink is at the rear and the blue at the front. All right. Really some nice midfield stuff now with Alpine and Williams. Here's Alpine with the Alpine logo there, the nice little helmet. And that's 2 to go. All right, next one. I'm going to say it's going to be a Williams. And it is not. It looks... Oh, no, it is. Never mind. It's Williams. I'm not going to build another one of those. All right. We got a duplicate. Now, this is going to be Alpine. And it's another Williams. Wow. So we've got Carlos, Alex, and whoever their reserve driver is. Very exciting today when it comes to opening these. We got 2. Maybe, so anyone watching this in the future, when you're picking up any of these minifigures or any of these blind boxes from a box, do not pick the ones next to each other because you're gonna get a duplicate. That's the lesson from today. But that's all right. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Here's the Alpine and here's the Williams. I'll just go and scan them and get the rest of them another time. All right, back to the build. Bag 9. I'll do it at some point for the scanner thing to get the like complete set of them. I thought I'd just buy a couple random ones today. Well, I was just walking to the cache to get this one and picked up a couple out of the box, but I knew there had probably a pretty high chance to be duplicates when I decided to pick ones that were right next to each other in the box. So that's that. Got all. So nobody, anyone who buys buys any more from that box is not getting a Williams. So any Williams fans who are going into the Lego store that I went to today are not going to be pleased because I got all the Williams. Now, I like Williams. I don't know if I like Williams enough to have 3 of them, though. Not to mention the Speed Champions one as well as the Mansell 18 plus one. So a lot of Williams in my Lego collection now. All right. All right, there it is. Cool. All right, well, thank you for coming on the stream. It's been a good time chatting, and I hope when your Slave 1 arrives, you enjoy building it, because it's been a fun build so far. So thanks for coming. It's been a fun stream talking and building this one. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy building it when it arrives. All right. All right, I guess it's now on to more of the front of the ship now. It's pretty much got all the rear of it done. It's now onto the front of it and all the details that will come from that, which will be quite a few, I would think, from the looks of it. Don't know what next week's stream is going to be. I'm waiting on a parts order from Bricks and Pieces for a mock that I'm working on for a convention in November. Bricks in the 6 here in Toronto, which if you're in the area and interested in going, I believe the exhibitor registration at a reduced price ends this weekend sometime, either Saturday or Sunday. So anyone in the area of November, I think it's 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th or something like that in Toronto, and are interested in going in a LEGO convention. It's been pretty fun the last couple years, so yeah, that's what I'm working on right now as a build for that, and waiting for the parts, and I think that's sort of my plan for next week's stream, if the parts come in time, is working on my first section of that, but I've also got an Jango set to still finish that I started in the stream a while back now, actually. But yeah, should be a fun time, whatever it is. And I've also got the Boosh Leia helmet still to build. I've got 2 of it, and need to build one of them because I kind of want to add it to the greater helmet collection. All right, bag 9, I believe it was, is coming together pretty quickly here, and it's looking good. All right, now some dark green accents throughout it, which I think there's a few on the ship, but not a ton of it. Definitely not as much as Boba's. But all right, it's certainly starting to really come together now. The front of it, and it's looking good. I'm actually really enjoying this one. It's been a fun build, and it looks like it's on to the next few stickers. Oh, this is Speed Champion's one of Speed Champion's favorite parts. They like to use it for the front nose of the Formula One cars. This little plate there, or not a plate, a cone of some sort. Not even a cone of some sort. A wedge plate. There we go. Found the word somewhere. All right, couple studs, and then it's some stickered parts. There hasn't been too many stickers in this set, and it's not a huge sticker sheet. I'm sure, like there seems to always be with these sets, there'll be a decent amount of custom sticker sheets available for printed elements of for this set, but there doesn't seem to be too many, and I think they're easy to apply stickers as well, which is nice. It's always definitely easy when they're easy to apply, and these ones aren't too difficult. They're on pretty flat pieces and larger pieces. It's not like you're placing stickers on 1x1s, which Can't believe that happens sometimes. Those 1x1 stickers are, I'm honestly, I have no real issue with stickers. 1x1 stickers are one where I'm a little bit iffy about. I'm definitely not too keen on those. But doesn't look like there's any of those in this build. But yeah. All right. Now, is this the wedge piece that I've heard about that is supposed to be a certain color? And it's not? I think it might be. I think this is the one. Because it definitely doesn't, it sort of stands out a little bit. But maybe it's supposed to, I don't know which one is which and if it is the correct one. Oh, yay, finally. Time to actually place those ball joint. Place those ball joints what feels like so long ago, and finally able to actually use them in the build. It's been a while. All right, and the next one. All right, that's that. A couple of very large wedge pieces. I think they liked to use these in the Venator from last year. I think it was a pretty popular part. Or was that the year before that? I think that was the year before that. Getting mixed up in Lego Star Wars years now. All right. The onboarding, the ramp is certainly coming together pretty quickly. I'm liking the size of this thing though. It doesn't feel too big. It feels like pretty much the perfect size for it. I like these UCS sets that aren't too big. They're a reasonable size. And actually don't take up an entire room like certain ones. Looking at the whatever it's called. The my goodness, Republic Gunship. Its wingspan is just so big. Others like are, they're big, but like that one, I don't know. I knew it was going to be a big set, but it was a bit surprising to me by the time I finished it, just how big it was. Like it was really a bit too big, I think, in the end. All right. I think it's getting close to wing time. Oh, nope, never mind. Bag 10 is just an entirely new structural component of this ship in the way of the cockpit. Alright, get these guys over here. Jango's still falling over. I moved it. My goodness. All right. Technic pins, because it's structure time with this build. Oh, then the build actually might get a little bit longer when I look at it now. I realize it might. Oh yeah, it will. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit larger than I was thinking of it. I guess I couldn't picture the actual set itself. All right. An hour or so left with this stream, I think, and then I'll finish it off stream. But it's been a fun one. I've enjoyed putting this one together. It's been fun. Very much enjoyed the build process. It's one of my process-wise stronger Lego Star Wars sets. I think in a lot of ways they tend to be not as strong as other themes in that department. But this one, quite strong. It's good. It's well done. Very well done. All right. Oh, time for the dark green of it. I realized actually pretty much the entirety of almost all the front of it really is just dark green. So there is a decent bit of it. All right. I realize I don't actually own that many slave ones. Like I feel like I would have more. And there's just certain sets that I realize I don't own for Lego Star Wars, and it just sort of surprises me. Building it for a decent while, just feel like I should have more of them. I got a couple slave ones, but not as many as I feel like I would think I'd have. But this one is really coming together, and I'm really enjoying it. Coming together. But I guess the main learnings from this stream is never not scan minifigures anymore. Just scan them. And also don't pick ones that are right beside each other. Good idea. Huh. What are the rest of these? There's supposed to be like a couple more of them. Where'd they go? Not there. That's... Oh, they're there. Never mind. I just can't see. That's like the third or fourth time that's happened this stream. I guess the longer they go, the more I slowly mess up. But it's coming together. The UCS Slave 1. All right. Next part of this. vague. I don't know what I was thinking mentioning the idea of doing like a 24-hour stream months ago. I can barely do these 4-hour ones. But it's coming together. I'm enjoying the build here. It's a fun time. Alright, that goes there. And more Technic pins. And there's even more to go after this. Alright. Lost one Technic pin, but there's an extra one over there, so in the area that I don't or need one, got an extra one. Alright. Okay. And that is going to go on top, right there. Oh, sticker time. There we go. Alright, more structure. Thought I was done with the structure, but I realized there's almost like this this ship in a lot of ways, at least this build process of it, is sort of in two parts. It's got the exterior shell of it, and then it's got the main interior area in the front of the ship. They're sort of two very separate sections that require their own structure to actually hold up the build. That's certainly, at least this is the second structure of the build. It could be considered that. It's sort of the second structure, really. Alright. Now that's interesting. They just have you place that one in there. Don't really connect into anything else. Intriguing. Alright. Next set of pins. This is certainly in the Technic area of the build. And maybe it'd be a lot better if I built it on the correct side where you're actually supposed to. That would make the whole process a whole lot easier. Go again here. There we go. And I need the tan one, the white one, the light bluish gray one, And another one of the white one. I'm going to assume the exact same, not the same process, never mind. Alright. That. And oh yay, more ball joints. Always love to see the ball joints, especially in mechs. I love ball joints in mechs. My favorite. Just love them. Alright. And gonna have to do this exact thing, I think, on the other side. This technic part of it definitely is not the most exciting part of the build so far. The different techniques and things to get certain parts of the shaping was much more enjoyable than this part of it, but at the same time, this is certainly a pretty critical part of the build, and without it, the thing would crumble under its own weight, so it's important, just not the most exciting. There, and there we go. Alright, the same old thing. It's the same build as the other side. Oh, made the same mistake on both sides. This is Baradur all over again. Now that's a reference to many streams ago that only a select few will really remember or have witnessed. Those are fun. Like a year ago, or 2 years, no, a year ago, I guess the set came out. Alright, that's that. Next part of it. Then I think it's more, actually it looks like it's a bunch of plates in the next one, next section. Alright. The same ball joint as the last one. Actually, I wonder if the ball joint's going to be how this connects to it. There's no real other ball joint in the rest of the set. So, who knows? Alright, wonderful. That can now go in there. In there. Does it go in there? 1 second. What have I done incorrectly here? I've done something wrong. Oh, that solves the issue. Putting the thing on the wrong side. It's probably good that this one's coming to an end and I'll take a little break from the build. Because if I keep on doing it and keep making the mistakes that I do, this thing's gonna end up looking like a Star Destroyer instead of a Slave 1. Yeah. That is that. Now time to bring back the rest of it. Okay, that I guess just slides in. Somewhere here. Ideally. Oh, good. All right. And there. And this one. There we go. And that now is pretty much, I think, the full length of this thing. And, okay, that's just the other side. All right, bag 11. Right. Back to building. Oh, so I guess the wings do move at the same time. So I guess there is some functionality in that. Oh, I just realized there's another instruction manual to go through. Yeah, there's still a decent amount of this build to go. This is pretty much the actual like halfway point of the build itself. So I guess I was a little bit over zealous, trying to get this thing done in 3 hours. Don't know. I think this is probably the last bag of the day. I think I need to take a bit of a break with it, but it's been fun. It's been very, very fun. I think I am gonna record a review for it probably out next week. This though will be the first thing up. So won't be voting it today, but we'll be actually, I think what I'm gonna do is this is gonna be the last bag of the actual Slave 1 build that I'm gonna do for the stream today, and I will build that afterwards, so that there's the build of that done and on stream recorded. But yeah, it's certainly coming together here. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. All right, the next bit of this, I guess this might be getting into building the wings. I'm gonna just do it over this way so I can actually see the instruction manual a little bit better than having the thing covered. Alright. That is actually correct, not how I had it originally, which was incorrect. Doing a lot of that so far in this build. Alright, getting more of the plate on plate action of the build. Over there. One brick. Getting to the end of this manual, so the crease in it is a little bit hard to see some of those last couple parts. That's how to count. That's 4, not 5. All right. Maybe not. Start doing that on the edge of the table. That's going to end up with a slave 1 on the ground and 3 hours in the bin. Certainly, this bag at least is really starting to build up that front of the ship quite a bit more than some of the other parts of it were. But it's looking good. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the build. I feel like I keep on saying that, but it really is. It's really been a fun one. A good time. All right. That just be able to. I do this correct? I did build this correct, right? Oh, there we go. That answers and solves the issue. That's better. And that will be that. And all right. And the last of that additional section. Good now. Scraping my hand all over the pieces here. There we go. And now the next one. Four of these and a couple of studs. really like this this part in this these last few steps. Using a ton of them. Alright, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That. Oh. Alright. And now a couple of these. And then it looks like it's just a bunch of sand green to finish off this this step, this bag of the set. It's coming together. It's especially with this bag, it feels like it's really increased its size, and not just size but overall completeness of the thing. Last couple of steps here, and then it's time to build a couple clone cadets, and then end this one out. It's been an enjoyable time building this really quite well done Lego Star Wars set. It's a good one. I feel like there's been a lot of not great ones, more subpar ones, but this one, pretty good. Pretty good. It's been fun. I'm liking it. I think I think this I think is going to be remembered as one of the better UCS sets, but I feel like there really hasn't been that many bad ones. Just been more good than bad when it comes to this line of sets, which I guess you'd hope for in the cost of these ones, that they would be pretty good. And I think all the ones really I've built have been. I think the one that I look back on and I'm not pleased to have bought is probably the UCS gunship, just for how big it is. I've spent this entire stream, I realize now, just bad mouthing that set, which is not bad, it's just too big. way too big. But that, in 2 more pieces, is now the end of bag 11, and the end, I think, for me, of building the Slave 1 today. Oh yay, more Technic structure. Yeah, no, that's gonna be it for today. But before that, I'm gonna build this, because got to. But here it is. It's pretty big. The back of it's pretty much done, and it's been fun. All right, let's get into this. The Camino Training Facility. Alright, 2 bags. Bag 1's gonna be the main one for all the Bricklink sellers and eBay individuals who want to sell these minifigures, because that's the one who has all 3 figures in it. Alright, big part of the set. The minifigures. Dual molded legs, printed arms, regular clone face. I'm jumping the gun here, building them before I've even opened up all the bags. Alright. That's 1. That is 2. And that is, once I find the hairpiece, is 3 clone cadets. They look very nice. I quite like them. They're quite nice. Alright, there's Jango with his clones. And here are said clones. They look pretty nice with their printed arms and their dual molded legs. Nice nice figure. Alright, and you get 3 of them. Great. Alright. Clone training facility time. This will be what I believe will be a pretty simple, just less than 200 piece build. But I think it'll be a nice little one to end out this thing here. The guns are in place for the little turret. This is really short. Alright, and 2 more of those, and a 2x2 plate on top, and you've got a turret that spins. Exciting. Alright, next thing. The little weapons rack, which I quite like. I like the little build of this. I think it's cute. As cute as a weapons rack can be. But I like the little shape of it. It's cool. that's actually pretty well built for just a little thing. Nice thing. Yeah, it's not too bad. And then, is there another build? Or unless the, I guess I was thinking the ship was only in the second bag, but I guess you'd start that after you've finished the weapons rack. There's just still a few more. Where'd it go? There it is. Let me scoot that over here. Come on, get over here. There we go. There we go. And there it is. Wonderful. Okay. And last couple bits. This. Oh, you just put one weapon there. Alright, now it's on to the Enforcer. Cool little ship. I think it's well done too. I think it's well built. This is a very solid promo with a very solid UCS set. It's just an all around solid 2 builds. Well done stuff. You'll love to see it. I'm pleased with the promo. I quite like it. I hope they do more things like it. The cool minifigures like this. No, it would be funny if the third minifigure in the slave one ends up being in the play scale one ends up being one of these guys. I think that would be fun. Especially at that time, unless it was already rumored by then, you'd have people buying these guys for probably like $50 or $60 each. Which I have no clue how much they're going to be going for, but I'm sure it wouldn't be much less than that. I'd like to get more of them though, because they look really cool. If I was just gonna army build a recent Lego Clone Trooper, I think these are the ones I do, because I really like the look of them. I think they're very cool. Interesting. You sort of build this thing upside down for a little bit of it. This is actually some, like the turret thing isn't the best thing in the world, but I think most of this actually is pretty well built too. It's nice. Very nice. Alright, and a grill piece there. Alright. On to bag 2. that I'm looking for. There's one of them. Here's the next one. Can I just not see today? Or what? Because, oh, there it is. It was hidden. Found it. Alright. Next. Little bit. Alright. Thought when I originally saw the images of this thing, it was gray, not white. That's what I thought the build was, but it's white. Which I was surprised when I saw like the first review of it. Thought it was white, not gray, but turns out it's white. But yeah, it's coming together. I actually like the shaping of it. It's not too bad. Alright. Okay, ripped off a page of the instruction manual. Whoops. That's not good. Need to be a little bit more delicate, I guess, when changing these pages. Yeah, like, I'm sure this one's gonna go for a decent amount. Like, I'm interested to see what, like, each of the clone cadets go for. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much this one goes for. I'm thinking about, before the weekend's over, making another Lego order to get another one of these, but I don't know. But I definitely wanted these minifigures in my collection, so had to open it up, because I definitely wanted these clone cadets as figures. But it'll be for sure interesting to see what this thing ends up going for. Yeah, that seems about probably the good approach. I think last year's droid carrier, I think I have like 3 of them, and I think I built one of them too. Now I did so last year for May 4th, I went to the store, to the Lego store, to pick up some sets, and then I ordered the UCS TIE Interceptor online in the morning, and my UCS TIE Interceptor got delivered to the wrong address, so Lego sent another one of it. So I have a additional UCS TIE Interceptor, because eventually the person who got delivered it, who got the set or my order delivered to them, contacted me, and I went and picked it up. So I've got like double the amount of droid carriers, as well as a sealed TIE Interceptor that I got for free pretty much. So, yeah, that's why I've got 3. Um, but yeah, and the thing that I'm most pleased about that whole thing is that original order, had my last year when they had like the limited edition print poster for May 4th. My order had that in it, so that one that went out to the wrong address, I thought I had just missed that poster, because by the time it sold out really quick, that poster. So yeah, but so I've got a couple of those droid carriers. Yeah. Which, that was a cool promo. I quite liked that one. I don't think it's as good as this year's one, though. This year's one definitely is quite nice. It's a solid promo. Definitely one of the best ones I think I've gotten. One of my favorite ones was Darth Revan, and I didn't actually get that one on May 1st. I happened to be at a Lego Discovery Center years later from when that promo actually happened, or maybe not years later, but a couple years later from that Darth Revan polybag. And it was May 1st or whatever when I was at a Lego Discovery Center, and they were giving away, it was the Red Arm C-3PO polybag that's worth about $5 or something, versus the Revan that of course is now like $300. And really I didn't really care that much value-wise, so I wasn't really looking at it in that matter, and it was sort of the choice of the two, and I just decided to pick the Revan that day. So I walked away from probably like a $25 Lego Star Wars purchase with a now $300 figure. So yeah, it's a cool one. Very happy to have it beside the Darth Malak from last year. It's a cool figure. I definitely want to get Malgus next at some point. That's sort of my next Knights of the Old Republic figure that I wouldn't mind getting. But Revan is very cool. I have a custom Revan as well, a light side Revan that I quite like. Definitely enjoyed picking up custom minifigures the last couple years. It's been fun thing. A bit expensive, I guess, with because I tend to just go for the pad printed figures, but some cool ones. All right, that's the promo, and that is it for today's stream. I think I'm not going to finish this today. I'm a bit done with it, but the little Enforcer is cool and finished, and of course these Clone Cadets are pretty cool too with their arm printing, and so is little Jango here with his new rangefinder, which I'm happy that they have multiples of them. So I've got 2 extra rangefinders now. But yeah, that's it for today. The arm printing on all these figures is quite nice. Maybe kind of wish Boba would have had it. Would have been nice. But that's it for today. It was a fun one. Well, now done. But yeah, I think I'm done for today. I need to stand up. I think sitting down for 3 hours probably isn't the best idea. But it's very cool. it's a cool build so far. It's getting bigger and bigger though. But yeah, thanks for everyone who watched the stream. Next week, I don't know what I'll be building next week, but it'll be something probably on Friday or Saturday, not Saturday, Wednesday, I don't know. But no, I won't be, I don't think I'll be doing. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next stream whenever that is. Bye.